Hi, and welcome to this relationship series. We're going to get really deep and discover why the relationship with yourself is so important. And this relationship series, there are many other videos that you can find on YouTube or at relationshipexpertseries.com. And I'm Melissa Fike. I have been oh, by the way, you saw Diane here who's going to be speaking, and I messed up. So I'm Melissa Fike, since it looked like it was a ventriloquist happening. I'm Melissa Fike, and I am a spiritual entrepreneur and a very deep thinker and a metaphysical geek. And I realize that so many of us are struggling in our relationships. So I wanted to give back and help people who are struggling with their relationships with their mother-in-laws, with any family members, with spouses or partners, brothers, sisters, children. And I have all these different experts coming on that can help you discover the parts of you that can help you have better relationships, have more authentic, loving relationships. And I'm really excited because today, Diane, who you just saw, awesome Diane, her name is Diane L. Hayworth, and she is a relationship, or she's a coach, but she's really works with people on the relationship with themselves and to help them really discover their inner workings so that they can have a better life. She's not only a coach, she's also an author of an amazing book, and we'll tell you more about the book in a little bit. It's a really great, amazing book, How to Choose Love When You Just Want to Slap Somebody. And she's an author and a speaker, and she's available to do great speaking engagements. So if you're interested, you can find her at dianehayworth.com. And Diane and I have been friends for a really long time. She's an all-around amazing person with a beautiful heart and very funny. So we have to hear this humor, Diane. So how are you doing?
Good. How are you, Melissa? Thanks for letting me be part of this. I'm excited to be here.
Oh, we're excited to have you. So, Diane, I really want, since you're here to talk to us about me, myself, and I, when your most important relationship is with yourself, tell me a little bit more about what that means to you, and share with us what you've discovered about that.
Well, like most people that are going to be on this broadcast, I had my own problems in my life, and I thought it was an ex-husband or a boss or my parents that didn't understand me. Through years of study, what I realized was the relationship that was really lacking was the one with myself, not just my ego self, but my divine self. So my work now has really revolved around helping people understand that the most important relationship they have is with that divine part of themselves. I really believe that your external world reflects your internal world. So when this relationship is solid, then your relationship to, like you said, your mother-in-law, your family, your spouse, your relationship to money, your relationship to work, your relationship to the world is better because your filter's different. You're seeing it through divine eyes, not your ego eyes. And it's just absolutely something that I'm passionate about because it has just transformed the way that I look at the world and the way my life works.
Well, that sounds really great, but how do you go about doing that, having a better relationship with yourself?
Well, it just sounds like you would just sit down and meditate, right? But it is just a little more involved than that, but not an awful lot. The very first thing you have to do is just be aware that all of us in human form have these two sides to us. The ego side, which is what is usually running the show, right? That's what pays our bills and drives the kids to their soccer games, and that's what cooks dinner. But we also have this divine self, this divine inner knowing. I call it the spark of the divine that's in all of us. And for us to take some steps to just be more aware of that really doesn't have to be too complicated. In my mind, the way that it's worked for me is I've become more aware of the mind, body, spirit connection. And that's something that you hear an awful lot in metaphysical and spiritual circles. But exactly how do you get those things connected? That's not always easy to do. So I thought if it was okay, we'd take a few minutes and I'd just give you some ideas on the way that I become aware of the mind, body, spirit connection and how I work with them on a daily basis.
That sounds,
yeah. Yeah, because it sounds all great, right? When you're reading it in these different books or blogs, and then you wonder, how the heck am I going to do that? And I'm all about helping people understand how to put these thoughts into actions, because that's where I needed help. That's exactly where I needed help. So when you're thinking of a mind, body, spirit connection, let's just start with the mind. Now, I'm a thinker. That is where that's just what I love to do. I love to read. I love to think. I love to learn. Not everybody has that as the major way that they interpret data. I found that people are either they naturally come from a heart center, they come from a thinking center, or they're more body centric. And that actually, I've learned an awful lot of that as I've studied the Enneagram. One of the things that I learned through that study is that I am a mind type. Doesn't mean that people who have that as a default are any smarter than anybody else. It's just the way they tend to process material. That's it. So for people who want to stay connected in the mind, a couple things to do every day that will help enhance that relationship to self. First of all is read inspirational materials. Rather it's the Bible, A Course in Miracles is what I read every day. It could be a beautiful spiritual poem by Rumi. It could be a book by a real famous book called The Game of Life by Florence Scovel Shinn. It could be something by Wayne Dyer. It could be a book of Kermit poems, because I'm telling you, he's got some great spiritual loving things. I don't care if it's a cartoon, but it needs to be something that stirs the soul and, more importantly, makes you think. That's absolutely important. I also think that you need to engage your mind by learning something every day. Rather it's reading or videos. Melissa, you have some fantastic videos on your YouTube channel that teach people how to do all kinds of things. But it's really important that every day, I believe, that you engage your mind. So read something inspirational, learn something, go to YouTube, do something that really touches your spirit. I don't mean learning how to fill out your tax records, unless that's like your thing. Something that really inspires passion in you. That's what I want you to learn about every day. Other thing I want you to think about is asking questions. Not the kind a 2-year-old asks, why? I want you to really think about going deeper into whatever it is that you're passionate about. So for you and I, Melissa, for years we've talked about different spiritual practices and methods. And one of the things that I've really enjoyed about our friendship is that we're always asking each other, well, what if we did it this way? Have you ever heard of this? We're looking at it at all these different angles. We're kind of noodling it through together. And I think that is just really important because it really helps get you connected to that mind. So those are the things that I think are really important for that. So there's the mind.
Do you think that having a community or other people to share that with, that your discoveries, would that help people with their relationship with themselves?
I absolutely think so, because you can become very myopic in the way you think if you're not getting other opinions, right? So rather it's a good friend like you that you can bounce ideas off. If you have a meetup group or a community, fantastic. If it's even an online community, just someone or some place where you can ask questions. I think that's a great point. That's a great point. Wonderful. The next thing I wanted to talk about was being connected to your body. And this isn't something that's really easy for me, actually. I do know there are 2 sure ways that you can be connected to your body. One's pain and one's pleasure. I don't know about you, but I'd sure prefer the pleasure part. I do know that when I'm not aware of my body, I'm not necessarily, it's not that I'm not taking care of it, but I'm just not aware of it. That's when I tend to, fall or catch a cold or have a sinus infection. Your body it's a spiritual instrument, for one thing. It's what's housing your spirit here on earth. And you want to pay attention to it for one very important reason. You are receiving intuitive messages through this body. It's great to think about what's going on, but you want to know how you feel, and your body needs to be in good shape, and you need to be aware of your body so that you can understand and interpret those feelings. You can do this a number of ways. Certainly being hydrated, exercising, eating nice, fresh, organic fruits and vegetables. Those are all great ways. Sometimes it's easier to do than others, but I think the point here is being really aware of our body, what foods we respond to, what foods, we don't respond to very well. And I also think we need to move our body. That can be regular exercise. There's lots of people. I just had a client this morning that she does these mud runs. So she runs like 6 miles through the mud, in rivers, up fences. Yay for her. Not my thing. But that's her. She loves it. She's very body oriented. Gentle yoga is something that I enjoy. Stretching, walking in nature, walking when I'm really attuned to what I feel on my face, what's the temperature, what am I hearing? Are there animals around? Are there people? Am I hearing kids laugh? All those sorts of things that connect you to your senses will really help keep you in the body. Pets. Melissa, I don't do anything without my cat, Rory. She's running around here right now. Just picking her up and petting her fur, hearing her purr right on my chest. That is a great way to be in the body. And obviously, time with your loved ones, your intimate relationships, holding hands, those sorts of things really help you appreciate and stay in your body. Rather it's a relaxing bath, soak in a bathtub, or body work. I just had some ginseng do done yesterday, and by a lady who just does fantastic massages and body work. Just a wonderful way to stay in the body. It just is. So keeping your mind connected the way we discussed, being really in touch with your body are all wonderful ways to stay connected to that inner divine self, because these are all the parts of that divine self, your mind, body, and spirit. Even before we leave the body, I did want to say this. Visualizing energy coming in through your crown chakra. I'll do this often if I feel that I'm not really connected to my body. I'll visualize beautiful golden light coming into my body through the crown chakra and literally energizing and infusing every cell with love, healing, peace, and abundance. I actually visualize it coming through every part, every organ, every cell. That is a great way to be aware of what's going on in your body. But like your other people that you've had here, I'm sure everyone will pick up tips that absolutely work for whatever you're going to do. That's the most important about any of these tips that me, Melissa, or anybody else are telling people. It has to be something you're going to do. So whatever feels right for you, connecting to your body, connecting to your mind, I think are just really important. And that leads us into spirit.
Before you move on, can I ask you a question?
Oh, absolutely.
So I'm kind of putting you on the spot here.
Thank you in advance.
I would. Would you take a minute or two and walk us through that, what you just described with bringing in the light? And I think that might really help people because once they've been shown how to do it, it's easier for them to do it.
Perfect.
Would you be okay with that?
Actually, I had even wondered about that. I would love to do that. Great. And it won't take very long, just a few minutes. So let's do this. Wherever you all are, let's just take a nice deep breath in, eyes shut, Relax. Release the breath. Good. Eyes shut. Another nice deep breath in all the way. Relax. Just feel that air. Absolutely. Go all the way out of your lungs. Totally empty. Good. Let's take a nice deep belly breath in. And relax. Good. Good. So with your eyes shut, I want you to be very comfortable in your chair, or if you're laying down, just be aware that you're very comfortable. If you need to make a little adjustment, go ahead and do that now. Good. I want you to imagine that you are totally supported by divine love in this instance. Wherever you are, laying down, sitting up, you are literally being supported and surrounded by divine love. And you're totally safe. Good. Continue to breathe normally. And I'd like you to imagine that a beautiful ray of iridescent light gently starts to cascade on the top of your head, and it actually goes inside your body, inside your brain, at the same time that this beautiful energy cascades down around your head. I want you to imagine, as it slowly does this, every muscle, every cell is relaxed. I want you to imagine that as this light very slowly progresses down your back of your head, the sides of your head, your forehead, you feel every cell relax, release any tension. And on the out breath, as you're feeling relieved from the tension, as you breathe in, imagine that every cell is infused with love, with light, with protection, with peace, and with love. This may look like colors. To me, it's very sparkly, iridescent colors. Just watch as that light continues to cascade down your face, relaxing your eyes and behind your eyes, relaxing your cheeks, your chin, your face, your ears, your neck, all the while remembering that as your external body, the skin is relaxing, the insides, everything inside is relaxing, releasing, and being rejuvenated with divine light. Good. Imagine this light is starting to cascade now over your shoulders, relaxing the shoulders, relaxing those ligaments and muscles. It flows down your chest, relaxing the muscles in your chest, relaxing your heart, releasing any sadness and tension in your lungs, anything you're holding in that upper back. Just feel it release and feel it become infused with peace, love, abundance. Good, great. Imagine these lights continue to gently flow down your arms, relaxing your upper arms, your elbows, all the way down to your wrists, your fingers. You can just imagine any of that stress or tension you're holding literally drips out of your hands, gently to be caught by Mother Earth, and feel each cell revitalized. Imagine what it would feel like if your arms, if your hands, if every finger was infused with divine love. There we go. Good. Now, as that light continues to flow down your torso, Imagine your stomach. Over your hips, relaxing the hips. And as it flows down your legs, over your knees, feel the relaxation as you're releasing any toxins, any emotions that you might been holding that have caused you tension or frustration. Just imagine that space is now infused with peace, love, clarity, energy. Good. Just gently let that flow down through your legs, relaxing your calves, relaxing your ankles, relaxing your feet. Imagine the last bit of this energy flows out into the ground. And now I want you to gently concentrate, gently, on your body. Imagine that each cell, every organ, every hair, every bit of your body has been infused with total divine health. See the cells tingling with energy, with divine energy, with divine love. There we go. Great. Remember how this feels. Take a nice deep breath in. Let it out, relax. There we go. Go ahead and wiggle your fingers and toes. Let's take another nice deep breath in. Relax. And open your eyes. Okay, Melissa, are you feeling your body now?
Oh, yeah.
Good, good, good.
That was awesome. And I have to watch too. So I was like, every once in a while, I just peek and make sure everything was working okay.
Good. That was a great idea. Thank you so much.
No, that was perfect.
Well, and it certainly leads into the spirit part of the mind, body, spirit connection, and that the absolute cornerstone to me of any relationship you have with yourself, with your divine self, with your intuitive self, is built on meditation, a great meditation practice. I think that a lot of people are sort of off-put by meditation because they think they have to sit cross-legged for hours and you know, do the ohms. You can do that and it's really cool, but you don't have to. There are a variety of ways to meditate. And what we just did was a meditation, actually. Walking in nature, where you are consciously looking at what's around you. You are consciously thinking, you know, what do I feel? What do I see? What do I hear? All of those ways are, that's a meditation in and of itself. It really is. There's so much literature, traditional medical literature as well, that shows the psychological, the physical benefits of a consistent meditation practice. One of the things I think that really scares people is that they don't realize that even 3 to 10 minutes a day can make a difference, can make a positive difference. There's been studies, ones that actually I cite in my book, that have said, oh, after 10 minutes, 3 times a week, not even every week, but 3 times a week, there was a consistent increase in mental health, positive attitude. There was an increase in the study group on white blood cells. There was a decrease in stress, a decrease in sleeplessness. It just benefits everything. And to me, that's the time when you hear that inner divine. Most of the time, there's just too much going on up here. We're just talking our way through the day. And we don't often listen to the very subtle intuitive hits that divine guidance is giving us. So that is absolutely, to me, the #1 way of cultivating that relationship with yourself and with your divine self. If you think about it, I believe the majority of the time, what we think about ourselves is what we've heard other people say. Could have started with our parents. It could be our spouse. It could be our kids. The truth is, every single person listening, you and me, Melissa, everybody, it's a divine spark of God. And meditation helps us realize that truth. So it's absolutely my number one. Absolutely my number one, to stay connected to spirit. The other thing that I really believe enhances that God spark within us is a gratitude practice. That is something that I just think is imperative. I wake up every day, thank you that I slept through the night. But as I go to bed every night, I just go through everything that I'm thankful for. And it could be really anything, not necessarily events, although there's lots of those to be thankful for as well. But I'm really thankful that I have a home. I'm thankful that I have friends like you. I'm thankful that I have opportunities like this. And it's just such a deep feeling within me that connects me to my heart, which is the spirit. I feel it in my body, but it's also something that I use my intellect to go through. So I love that as a way to connect the mind, body, spirit. One of my favorite gratitude practices I learned from a Hay House author called Dr. Robert Holden. And this is something I do with all my clients, and I would encourage anybody to do this. Tells you to write 100 things that you're grateful for, and not just I'm grateful for such and such, but you say what you're grateful for and why. I like to do this by decade. So when I did this myself the first time, I thought from birth to age 10, what was I grateful for? Who was I grateful for? What experiences was I grateful for? And he also tells you only do 10 or 15 of these at a time, because you really want to think about it. What's really interesting to me about this practice is, as I thought about people I was thankful for, they had done certain things for me or introduced me to certain things as a child, it triggered so many other memories and so much more gratitude. So not only was I feeling it in my body, but I was having these beautiful memories of things that had happened. And sometimes the memories weren't that great. And if it wasn't something I was truly grateful for, I did look to think, was there anything about this situation that benefited me? And I always found something. So the meditation and the gratitude practice, a consistent gratitude practice, to me is absolutely the way to start developing that real relationship with the inner self. It's just imperative. And you'll see as you work on these things, and I would caution you, instead of working on them, I think a better word is allow yourself the gift of being conscious of your mind, body, spirit connection, because it really is a gift. It may take a little practice, but it will absolutely change the way not only you think about yourself, but all of a sudden people that used to drive you nuts don't drive you so nuts anymore. And it's because you've changed your perspective. Perhaps if you've got I love the mother-in-law example you gave, Melissa. If you've got a family member that just pushes your buttons, as you have a deeper relationship with your divine self, they still may be a little irritable, but you'll be able to see the pain behind that family member's actions. You'll be able to understand a little better what is their own way of dealing with something, especially when it used to look like it was an action directed, just to make you miserable. It's just amazing the way your relationships will change. Even your relationships to money, your relationships to things. The more I meditate, the less impulsive purchases I make, by the way. Because I just am much more aware of my real divine self and what I really want, instead of my ego saying, oh, if that blouse looks good in blue, let's get one in red and orange and yellow. And I never wear them. So actually, now that I think about it, Melissa, meditation has saved me money. That's a pretty good benefit, I guess.
That's good. So, you know, I'm going to ask this question because I get this question asked of me all the time.
Okay.
And I think that you have it in your book. People
Okay.
ask, well, how do I start meditating? What do I do? So I'm pretty sure that's in the book. So why don't you tell us about your book and maybe help us maybe buy the book so that they can have some great meditation practices.
Great. Thank you. Well, I just so happen to have a copy right here. And if you can see it, it is called How to Choose Love When You Just Want to Slap Somebody.
Here, put
And
it back up again so we can see it clearer.
And it's on my website also.
Don't move it, just hold it there for a sec. So it's How to Choose Love When You Just Want to Slap Somebody. Well, yeah. How do I do that, Diane? Well, wait a minute.
And who can't identify with that, right? The way this book came about was my father was really at the end of his life, and as the oldest child and the power of attorney, my family and I went through this journey with him. 2 years in hospitals and ERs and hospice care, and there was a lot of times we wanted to slap somebody. However, I realized, thanks to my meditation practice actually, that the only way we were going to get through it, my dad was going to get through it in the best way possible, was to choose love. And the very first chapter in this book is about meditation because it helped me see things so differently. In the book, I actually give you 3 different ways to meditate. But here's what's really wonderful. I would love for you to go to Amazon and buy the book. I invite you to do that. There's also a link on my website, and I believe that's right here at the bottom of the screen. But there are YouTube videos for YouTube videos that help you do this. Guided meditation, I think, is a great way to start. And Deepak Chopra and Oprah, through the Chopra Meditation Center, about, what is it, Melissa, 4 or 5 times a year, they actually do free 21-day guided meditations. That's a fantastic way to start. Just fantastic way to start. If the guided meditation isn't necessarily something that works for you, you can sit down, listen to a fountain. That I like running water, so I have a fountain in my office. So I will just set the timer on my clock or on my phone rather for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever it is. And I will simply sit and be fully present to the sounds of that fountain for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever it is. Your goal here is to circumvent that constant stream of thoughts. Now, I've been doing meditation probably for about 25 years now. And I can tell you that it's very rare that I totally am able to stop the thoughts. Being able to slow them and be aware of them and let them go is just a wonderful way to do that. Many religions have meditation practices. I actually learned through my church I went to at the time something called silent prayer. That was a wonderful practice. But just sitting quietly for 2 to 3 minutes, just to start. 3 minutes. Everybody has 3 minutes. I guarantee you most people complain a lot more than that every day about something that could easily be changed if they meditated. That's what's so interesting to me. The filter that you use to think becomes softer, becomes more loving, becomes more inclusive. So it's just a wonderful way. Go to iTunes. I think they have some free meditations if you wanted the guided meditations. You can do something called a meditative walk. And that's where you just, from your door to wherever your car is, if you want to do that in the morning, be very aware of each step you take and really deliberately place one foot in front of the other and be totally present to that. That's a short meditation. That's a short meditation. You can do it that way.
Right.
I'm thrilled though that there's so much literature and so many different ways to meditate. What we did, what the visualization we did, that was a kind of meditation. That was a kind of meditation, and that's pretty easy to do. But I do have some specific examples in my book, and thanks for bringing that up.
Actually, I have in the chat the book and the link to your website.
Thanks.
Sure. So it's if you click on the link to the website in the chat room, it'll take you right to your website, and they can get the book right there. You have it really nicely placed, so it's easy to get.
Thanks.
Great book. I've actually given it to a couple people as gifts.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. And it also has gratitude practices in there. Several of the things that we've talked about today, because they have enabled me to choose love in situations where that's not what I wanted to do. I put in there, and it's really things that have helped me grow mentally, physically, spiritually, help me mature into spirit is the way I like to think of it.
I like that. So overall, working with the mind, body, spirit, is there a way to do one practice that will actually hold all of them, or are you using each one as a separate thing?
I think that the meditation, probably the way that we did it when we were talking about the body, if you think about that and you go with a guided meditation that has a body component, that really does do everything, because you're meditating, so you're connecting to heart and spirit. You are visualizing, so you're using your brain, your mind, and you're actually feeling the effects in your physical body. So that to me, that's a great one to do everything. However, I think gratitude does that too, because when you really, really feel grateful, you feel it not only in your heart, but when you are really grateful. I know when I've been grateful to the point of tears, my whole body feels the gratitude. I've thought of whatever it is that I'm grateful for, or whatever this experience is. And I think that's another thing that really brings that mind, body, spirit together. What do you think, Melissa?
I agree. I also think that this doesn't have to be a 6-hour practice.
Nope.
You can read some inspirational quotes and actually meditate on those quotes. Yep. And before you do it, you just really connect to the body. So you could combine all three, maybe. I mean, this is one way.
Sure, you could.
And you have to kind of find what works for you. Everybody's different. But one way is you could, take, let's say you like Doreen Virtue's cards. You could pull a card, or Sonia Choquette or Wayne Dyer. I mean, everybody has cards nowadays. Right. Pull a card and see, okay, this is what I'm going to focus on. So you get the little mental part of it. Okay, I'm going to think about it for a minute. I'm going to connect to my body. I'm going to meditate on that for 15, 20 minutes or 5 minutes, really, even. Like you said, you don't even need that long. So it doesn't have to be an overwhelming situation or practice. You're using all of these things at once. So that's just a thought.
I think that's perfect. And I always tell my clients to start small, because if it's something you're introducing, if you want to learn to run, you don't start off running 50-mile marathons, right? You don't do that.
I don't think there's any such thing.
Actually, I don't know if they are. I'm not running them anyway. But with the card, I love the idea of the cards. And what I'll do sometimes is put my hand on my heart and put my consciousness into my heart space and ask my heart, what does this card mean for me? How can I live this virtue if it's, something like kindness or whatever the card happens to be? But I think that's another way of engaging that heart space, engaging that spirit, and of course feeling it in your body. I think those are all great ideas. And you're right; it just doesn't have to take a long time. I wanted to make sure to give people a variety of ways, because just like you said, everything doesn't work for everybody. I do really encourage everyone to try and have a practice of meditation. Even 3 minutes of just quiet is wonderful. And I know we might have some mothers with young children. Go in the bathroom, shut the door. When my kids were little, I used to have a sign that said, "Mom meditating, do not disturb unless you're on fire, unconscious, or bleeding." And man, it was great. They knew that a peaceful mom was certainly a much better mom to be around. And I can remember specifically when my kids were growing up and I would be upset about something, they'd say, "Mom, do you need to meditate? Do you need to go in the room for a few minutes? We'll just wait right here for you." So everybody benefits when mama's better. Everybody.
I used to do this. It's so funny. I don't know if I've told you, I did the same thing. I had a sign on my door, and it wasn't just for my kids, it was for my husband too. Because one time I'd been like an hour and a half meditation, and my husband walked in because I was so not present to the world. It just shocked me. So, but the thing is, I did it with my kids who are really, really, really small before they could actually read.
Yep.
And I just said to them, there's a sign. And if it's on the door, that means, but I always tell moms, the bathroom
Yep.
is always a great place. And people who work, have jobs, that's a great place because nobody really will disturb you if you're on the toilet at work. So
love that. Third stall on the right, my last job used to be my little meditation center. It's great. And even, even when my children were really, really young, and I would meditate for 20 minutes in the morning and 20 minutes at night, they would sit next to me. And the deal was that they could sit as long as they wanted to. When they wanted to get up and leave, they could get up and leave. And back in those days, I had a kitchen timer on, so they could always see how long it would take. So I taught them very, very early the benefits of meditation. And they have all gotten throughout the years various meditation CDs as gifts. That's one of the most important things they took with them to college, by the way, was meditation CDs.
I will remember that since I'm sending mine off. Okay. Yep. Good point. Good point. So is there anything else, Diane, that you wanted to share with us today to help us really integrate that mind, body, spirit and be really present with that relationship with ourselves?
I would say to absolutely understand that whatever you're doing, however things are working for you, understand you're doing the best with what you have right now. And that regardless of what your life looks like, regardless of what your relationships, your external relationships looks like, you're loved, you're treasured, you're adored. And everybody in your life, even the ones that are driving you nuts, are treasured and adored and are part of the divine, they're divine sparks as well. And I think when we allow ourselves to understand the difference between our ego self and our divine self, then we just cut ourselves a lot of slack. There's really no benefit to beating yourself up. There really isn't. To sitting there and mentally telling yourself you're stupid or dumb or you're fat or whatever it is. First of all, that's not you. And second of all, it is not inspiring. Look for things that inspire you, that create that passion in you, and cultivate that beautiful relationship with your own divine self. Everything in your life will benefit. Everything. Everything.
Great. Wonderful. That's a great way to end that. So thanks so much, Diane. This is really great. I think you've gave us a lot of food for thought. And again, why don't you just tell us your book and show it just one more time so that if anybody's interested, they can get that.
Thank you. It's called How to Choose Love When You Just Want to Slap Somebody. And it's available on Amazon. It's on my website. And thank you, Melissa, for putting the links in there.
Sure. Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you have a great day, Diane. I'm just going to, I want everybody to know that I'm Melissa Fike, and you can find me at Melissa Fike, FEICK.com. And I help people really discover their most authentic self so that they can live their purpose in the best way and really hold themselves accountable so that they can bring their purpose out and really live it instead of talking about it all the time. So you have a great day and love to you all. Bye, Diane.
Bye, honey. Thank you so much.